Hey everyone, so we've learned so far this year about how two consonants can come together and make a new sound, which is a digraph. So for instance, CH can come together and make the sound ch. And what we learned in our last week, what we learned about is something called consonant blends. Consonant blends are different from digraphs because with digraphs, you have one sound. With a consonant blend, like here, you have two sounds. So this one would say ch, whereas CR says cur, And today we're just going to practice working with these consonant blends a little bit more. So let's get this started. Our very first word is actually going to have a consonant blend at the beginning of it. So I'm going to pull down the letters, and what I want you to do is to try to see if you can figure out what this word says. So take a moment to look at the letters, see if you can tap it out. Okay, let's do that together now. F-l-ag, full ag, flag, a flag. So a flag is something that you fly, like the American flag, which we say the pledge to every morning. That's what that word means. So you can see that the blend here is at the beginning. So we have two letters, two consonants that are keeping their sounds. F-l. And when you're writing this, if you wanted to mark it to show that they're keeping their sounds, you would put one small line underneath each of the consonants. So let's move on to another word. Put back my letters here. L, A, and G. Okay, now I'm going to say a word, and this word is actually going to be mixed up a little bit because it is going to have a it's going to have a consonant blend, but it's also going to have a digraph. So let me make that word. I'm going to ask you to see if you can try to read it. Okay, there's my word. So do you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds, even though there's actually 5 letters, because the S and H are a digraph, so they're making one sound. So let's try to tap this word out now. Ash, crash, crash, crash. I wonder if you know what the word crash means. Think about that. Can you tell somebody near you what you think the word crash means? Okay, so crash is a word that you can use to describe two things banging into each other. So for instance, maybe you think of when you're riding your bike and you accidentally hit a tree. You crash into the tree. So that's what that word means. Now let's look at the letters closely. You can see that we have two consonants next to each other, but they are not a digraph, they are a consonant blend. So they're keeping their sounds. So I'm going to put one line underneath each of them to show they each have their own sound. So that's k, ash. Well, now here's two consonants next to each other, but they make one sound. So I can put one line underneath the two consonants to say two consonants, one sound. So that's how we would mark that word up. I'm going to say a word now. We're going to try to figure out how to spell that word. So let me erase my lines that I put here. Okay. So the word that I want to try to spell is grab. Like for instance, if I want to take something out of a bag, I could say, I need to grab something out of that bag. Let's try to tap that out. Grab, grab. Okay, g. What letter says g? If you said the letter G, then you are right. G, gur. Now what letter says It's the R. And when you have them next to each other, it's g, or gur. Ah. what vowel says a? If you said A, you are right. Grab. So now I need to find the letter that says B. If you said it was the letter B, you are correct. Grab. Grab. Nice job spelling that word. Let's try a word now. This one is kind of tricky because this one has a digraph and a blend in it again. When I put them together, you're going to see why that's a little bit tricky. Okay, so this is a word for what a person does when they're ripping the lettuce into smaller parts. It's called shred. Shred. Let's tap that. Ed. Ed. Shred the lettuce. Okay. What letter says that? Ooh, the digraph SH. Very good. There's that sound again. You know that that's got to be the letter R. Which vowel is that? That's the vowel E. D. For the end of my word, I need D. And that is the letter D. So now let's look at this. We have something really special in this word because what we have is a consonant digraph blend, meaning you have a digraph blending with a consonant because there's a consonant next to it. And when I write this word, if I wanted to write the word shred, look at it. SHRED, it would have 3 consonants next to each other. But of course, the SH are only making one sound. The R is making a sound by itself. So you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds in that word. Okay, so this week is going to be all about R blends. Blends where it has a consonant and a letter R next to it. So you have some work that you can do to practice writing words and reading words that have R blends in them. And I know that you're going to do an amazing job.